back to his house, and the only thing he has for furniture is an inflatable boat. Oh, and we're live.
Oh,
Welcome to another one with Rob. This is Brendan from at Ample Thought. He's making shorts now, so go watch his channel and subscribe. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed yet, what is wrong with you? How do you watch an entire video and not subscribe to people? What I'm saying is, please subscribe. I
yeah.
really appreciate you. Brendan, you've heard of the old adage.
hmm
I don't know what that. We got to look that word up because I don't know
It's
what it
not
means.
subtractage. It's not subtractage.
Is there?
It's
Is that?
adage.
That's probably the antonym of adage. Subtractage. Well,
It
you
could
heard.
be a simile. No,
No, it would be an
that's not it.
antonym. I
No,
use.
wait. I know this. It's a sonnet. No, that's not it either.
It's a
Okay, go ahead.
haiku. I love doing haikus. We could have a whole
Haiku.
haiku. Well, oh, the adage, the old saying. I believe this comes from the Bible. I think it was Jesus who said, "You're either part of the problem or the solution." John 4:20. Um, so you've
Could
heard of
be.
that,
Could
right?
be. Yes. Yes, I've heard of it.
Well,
Is there
it's.
somebody who doesn't subscribe to that adage, Rob?
I think someone doesn't, and you know
Oh,
who? And he's
who?
beloved. You know why he gets to do this? Because Dwayne Johnson. So that's such a weird, funny name. Some of you may know him as The Rock, or in Spanish, El Rock.
El
He
Rocco.
El Rocco. No, I don't believe. I don't know what Estonio. I don't know what rock is in Spanish, but for the Spanish audience, El Rock. El Rock Hubbard. Sounds like he could start his own cult. All right, focus. The Rock.
You're good. You gotta stop at three. Three. Rule of threes. Don't forget. Go ahead.
The Rock. If you know,
Yes.
the tragedy of the Maui wildfires happened, I believe, just over a month ago, 2 months ago, and he got lambasted over the Barbie. Good day, Governor. Uh, because him and Oprah went on Insta, TikTok, Facebook, social medias everywhere, and said, "Hey, we know we own the Hawaiian Islands. We know we're cadillionaires." I think that's after billion. No, trillion. It's after trillion. Kabillion. Uh,
Chameleon.
but we need you, peasants, to help fund the rebuilding. Even though Oprah, I'm pretty sure she owns an entire island. Rock probably has like an entire pineapple plantation out there. Oprah could have literally gave
Don't
away.
mind Rob. He's a hater. Don't listen to Rob. He's a hater.
Listen to me. I'm telling you, people. Oprah owns over 2,000 acres on Maui. So she could have just been like, hey, guys, come stay here. But no, she asked the public. She never apologized for it. The Rock at least came out and acknowledged, like, hey, maybe we're a little tone deaf, while we're globally flying around the world on private jets asking you guys to help out who can't pay her rent. Well, here comes The Rock. Dwayne Johnson again. Dwayne is now, if you've not seen the ad, they're all over YouTube. Every freaking ad and every middle run ad is Dwayne The Rock Johnson talking to Jimmy Kimmel about his acorns and his mighty oak. Now, if you haven't seen the ad, I'm going to play it for you real quick. You know how there's movie magic?
Mm-hmm.
You
I'm
know.
aware.
You
Yes.
know about movie magic.
Yes.
This advertising is so slick. Noam Chomsky once said, in an ideal market, you want an informed consumer making rational decisions. In America, we have uninformed consumers making irrational decisions, irrational choices. And that really is what this advertising says to me. It is movie magic. I don't believe this ever took place on the Jimmy Fallon late night show, but it would have you think it did. I'm going to play this ad for you, and you tell me what you think. Is Rock still just a good guy trying to help the people out, or is this celebrity capitalism at its worst? What is Acorns? What is it? So Acorns is a financial tech company. So I bought everyone's gifts today with my new Acorns Mighty Oak card. Yeah, it's a financial tech company that I invested in a couple of years ago. And after the investment, we started thinking about ways. Well, what can we do for the people, for the consumers, that we could maybe create a debit card? Because usually debit cards are created for spending. In this case, of the highest APYs out there, 3% for checking, 5% for emergency fund. And I wish back in my
$7 days when I had $7 that I had a card like this. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. It drops tonight for all of you guys. Oh, and one more thing. I think this is really cool. It's a fun part of what we like to do is since I started with $7, we're gonna. It's you look at it like it's like 7 golden tickets. So everybody who signs up for an Acorns Mighty Oak debit card, 7 of you, maybe one of you guys, maybe more,
Probably not.
will win $50,000.
I've got the golden ticket. I've got the golden ticket. Well, isn't he Dwayne Johnson in The Rock? What did I say before?
Rob, it's
What was the
Dwayne
joke?
Johnson and the Rocklet Factory.
Ah, yes. Well, isn't he Dwayne Johnson in The Rocklet Factory?
Nailed it.
7 golden tickets because he at one point only had $7. Now, first of all, if that's not a crock, I don't know what is. But number two, how did that ad come across to you? That's one of the first times you've seen it, right? You're very new to this ad.
Yes.
What did that sell to you?
I mean, nothing. I mean, quite honestly, it's so ubiquitous.
Yeah,
Almost every single celebrity. I mean, first of all, anybody who's on a talk show is selling. Almost everybody is selling something.
they're
Whether
sold.
you're a musical guest or you're an author or you're an actor, you're always selling something. Like, come see my next comedy tour. Come see me live at. I'm doing my North American tour for this. Music or whatever. Um, uh, where all books are sold, where all podcasts are sold. Like, they're always selling something. So the fact that this seems like they recorded it in between segments, maybe, or after the regular show was done on Jimmy Kimmel, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm never going to look at Acorns. Um,
Yeah, but
Nor have I.
let me just interrupt you there because I think you have a different eye. Anybody who's worked in media, anybody who knows anybody that works in media and has spent any kind of time, even parallel to that realm, I think you
Yeah.
start to see things differently. So you might be watching it. It's like when I listen to radio, spending 20 years on the radio, I hear things way different than anybody just listening. I hear what's coming up. I hear when they're going into commercial. I hear a bad tease, a good tease, all these things that you just when it becomes work, you have to hear it differently. So I think that's your eye. I just think it's
Yeah. And
it's a very slick concept to kind of still have that studio audience in there, and it's almost like it was so big. And again, I understand advertising is meant to trick people. Again, it's meant to have uninformed consumers making irrational choices, not the proper way, informed and rational. Noam Chomsky, by the way. I just want to say that I'm quoting him.
said it twice. I
all
think we
all
got it the first
intellectuals.
time.
um but it comes across right that this is so big that we had to take time on the Tonight Show. That's what Fallon's is, right? It's the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. All get
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
I believe he is the Tonight Show, and that's the big
Yes.
one. That's the big one.
No, that's not the big one. Late Show with Stephen Colbert, that's the big one.
That's the
That's
big one.
big. Yeah, that's the biggest one.
Okay.
That gets the most followers. I mean, if Jimmy
But I mean,
Fallon's right behind him,
historically, I thought the Late Show was, or the Tonight Show was the
oh, the Tonight Show, yes. Oh my gosh, I don't want to get into that. Anyway, they're
So
both big. They're
my
both
my
big
point
enough.
is that that's the platform that they're going to pitch to, and especially the language is so co-opted and corrupted. The Rock is pitching it like, I wish I had this when I only had $7. So much so that we're going to do Dwayne Johnson and the Rocklet Factory magical 7 tickets for people to win 50,000. I mean, this is like enticing as hell, and he's positioning it as like, hey, poor people, this is for you. I wish I had this when I was poor. Don't you want some? And go
I
ahead.
think all I was going to say is I read one thing that he in talking about it, he said, I believe in financial freedom and making money moves as smart as possible. What I didn't realize about Acorns is that it's a debit card that is designed for saving money, and later, per their website, that money can be invested. separately, like into a portfolio. So it is, it's less, I think, and we'll see. I mean, we don't know any of this stuff until it has, let's say 10 years of financial records to show what people are making, what in investment growth is for the majority of these people. But for every dollar that they're putting into this, it would seem so far that for every dollar of this, they're getting 2 cents out of it, because the other 98 cents are going to the company itself, the trade brokers that are doing it, or that are making these trades happen, if that's what this is. Um, Forget the advertisement. I mean, the advertisement's being paid in some ways already by the people who are currently signing up for it. I don't know how much
You're
The
you're
Rock or
paying The
anybody.
Rock right now. You were paying The
Right.
Rock if you signed up for that.
Well, paying The Rock and the people who wanted you to get invested in the first place. If they asked for startup capital of $100 million, I'd be very surprised. Let's say it was
This
20.
company well, this company was valued, I think it was 2 years ago, at 100 million, and
Okay.
as of today, it's valued at over 2 billion. Now, why do you think? It's not because the magic of this working within 2 years. It's because look who they got to sign on.
Well, it's not because the people who are invested and have the debit card are making, let's say, half of that money. The the people who are using it don't have a collected worth of $1 billion. We know that that's not the case.
So, real quick, well, just to talk about the people who are using this, right? And this
Yeah.
is what chaps my hide. The Rock positions this as it's going to help you. I wish when I was poor I had this. You have access to 55,000 ATMs in America. 55,000. I think I have 1,000 within a square mile of where I am. There's probably, I don't know, a million ATMs, just the ATM machine, not machines, but not
I know
banks,
what you mean.
whatever.
Yeah.
All through All Point. Now it says there's no fees, no overdraft fees. There's no fees with that. But that's if you're using an All Point, one of their accessible, I don't know what they would call it, like their no fee ATMs. I'm sure a lot of people do bank
What
with
is All Point? What does All Point have to do with the Mighty Oaks or the
they
Mighty
because
Oak thing?
well, they have no physical locations. So if something happens to your money, good luck going into the bank. Which
Are you
notorious.
saying that Acorns is a part of All Point? You got to help me with the structure. I'm
So
missing something.
from Business Insider, this guy, what's his name? Oh, not his. Laura Tarpley. She
Okay.
reviews different personal finance things. So she's reviewing the Acorns checking account and the Mighty Oak debit card. And she says some of the pros are that you have access to 55,000 ATMs. Your Acorn Mighty Oak card has access through All Point ATM network. I'm guessing
Okay.
that's like
Okay.
a Bank of America
Gotcha.
through the
Okay.
All Point network. So I've never seen All Point. I've never heard of it, but you would have to use their ATMs to not have a fee. The other thing is they have no physical locations. You cannot have a joint account. All these things, mind you, keep poor people in the back of your head. Keep people with
Yeah.
$7 in their pocket. Acorns have a $3, $5, or $9 monthly subscription fee. So if you only have $7, you can only do two of those plans. You can't do the $9 one. And if your money, something happens, okay, remember, they're investing it into a portfolio for you. I don't know how immediate you can get that money back. I know usually investments, you have to sell your stock. I have a portfolio. So if I
You
want
have to
money,
have dividends. Yeah.
well, not even dividends. Let's say I wanted to sell my stocks, right? I would
Yeah.
have to sell them at whatever time I would get, whatever the rate is, whatever
Yeah.
the money's at that moment. But I wouldn't get that money for, I'd say, 3 to 5 days. That money's not going to be instant. It has to be sold. There has to be these transactions,
Yeah.
and then I get that money.
Yeah.
Poor people notoriously don't have time like that. If you only have $7 and you're like, oh, my change has been going into this portfolio through Acorns. I wonder how immediate it is, but also the fact that they have no physical locations. Poor people aren't notoriously what is that? What is that thing called? Money. They don't have money, so they
Right.
cannot drive, get a lawyer, have time to spare if there's no physical location.
Yeah, check cashing places are very lucrative and very destructive to poor neighborhoods because they have the predatory lending. This is something that may have, now that I'm saying it out loud, may have a balance of you can't get it at first. Like, there's a commitment that you have to make to this, but I mean, again, this sounds like something that just is going to need some history behind it before we can actually know how it's benefiting people. Because I researched a bunch, I couldn't find anything that says how people are benefiting personally from this. They talk a lot about how overall all the people who use Acorns and this Mighty Oaks debit card are going to have great benefits, but
Are going to. This is like Sam
it's
Bankman-Fried.
expected to, yeah.
And well, the other thing I was reading is that they promised no more than 5% of your investment of your change. So let's say, we should have clarified that up first. Let's say I went to buy something for $4.25, right? And I
Okay.
use my Acorns thing. They're going to round up that 75 cents to $5. They're just going to charge you for, which again, when I start walking myself through this, I get so mad because I'm like, if you're poor, you can't afford that change to disappear. Think about every purchase you make throughout the day, right? And if you're poor, you're going to be making more purchases because they're probably for smaller amounts. So that means more of your money is going to this app. But that 75 cents is going to be invested, right? That's like the whole concept that they take whatever change on the dollar amount and they put it into this magical portfolio that Rock and his investor. That's the other thing. He went into this with Danny Garcia, which I
Yeah.
Googled that again, thinking it was a guy. No, it's this woman who's angel investor for a lot of startups and businesses and stuff like that. So I can only imagine how much she's making on the back end of this, how much these people, you wonder, I could not find anywhere how much The Rock invested in it. But the dangerous thing, and you can go, if you look to Business Insider or Acorns website themselves, do you know what their next venture, their next little capitalist venture is too?
Water.
It's called Acorns Early. Do you know who it's for and who it's targeted at?
Oh, I bet it's old people. It's old people, right?
It's kids.
No. But
Acorns Early.
I thought the acorn was planting the tree. Is that not still happening?
Well, the Mighty Oak is for all the older folks, the adult folks, and Acorns Early is targeted at kids, which I was like, they couldn't get the Wiggles. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
The Rock did Tooth Fairy what 20 years ago. Like get the Wiggles, and then that way the Wiggles could be like, what's their song? Fruit salad.
I have no idea.
Yeah, they could be like Chapter 7. Are you filing? They could sing a whole song about school lunch debt and be like, are you kids going broke from school lunch? Get Acorns Early, accepted at all major schools except for the ones where you have to pay in real cash. This is nuts, right? So The Rock is just, I think, what's that phrase? The wrong side of history. I think The Rock, and I
I
don't know
mean,
what.
not for the time though. I mean, everybody is doing this. So right now,
Well, you
um,
know who this was taken from?
hmm.
Do you know who was doing Acorns before The Rock? Do you know why The Rock and his magical investor kind of
Oh,
took
right.
over?
I
Who?
forgot.
Who?
Ashton Kutcher.
And what happened to Ashton Kutcher?
I don't know. Is he okay? Is
He
he
was
still
right.
doing Punked?
You know what? He might be pitching that show right now because after that dude got lambasted, that I'm not going to make that my new word. After he got raked over the coals,
Yeah, that was a good one. That was different.
Danny Masterson, his buddy from that '70s show.
Yep.
I'm not going to say the words because it's YouTube, but he was
Reped.
reped. He was
Reped some women.
looked up. No, you could say locked up. He was locked up for repetting someone. And during that court case, which came out after, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis were writing letters to the judge saying, like, this is a stand-up dude. he's always been hands-offy with my wife, and we appreciate
Oh
you
my gosh.
letting him go. And that finally leaked out after he got what, life in prison or 30 years or something. He got sent away for a long time. Like that dude ain't gonna see the light of day. Where
I
is it?
I didn't I didn't follow what his sentencing was. I was glad to hear that he was found guilty on multiple counts. I mean, however many counts it was, and that justice was served in that way. I All I care is that he's gone for as long as he needs to be. But
But
before,
Ashton was the original one who was promoting Acorns, and I think once his reputation got a little tarnished with the I support a repetter.
yeah,
They made The Rock seem like, oh, I was an early investor in this. And I know you think everyone does this, but I think this
everyone
is a
does do it. I mean,
okay.
tons of people do it, and I'm not saying that it isn't morally bankrupt, to take another investment phrase, or another financial phrase. It's terrible. It is the country that we live in. I mean, if you think America is number one, this is why. It's not because our education system is great, or our infrastructure is great, or child mortality is great, or go on, healthcare, everything else. This is the reason that people shout from the rooftops, "We're number one,"
We're the
because
best exploiters.
absolutely. I mean, China, that's really the only fear American, business leaders have. That's the only fear that they have is with China. It's not because they have oil, which they do. It's not that they are, um, you know, terrible to their own people, whether it's the Uyghur Muslims or just slave labor all over Hong Kong and stuff out of Taiwan and a million other things. It's because they have business, uh, capitally, capitalism is set up far more efficiently in China than it is here, and it's ruled by fiat. So, what better system could you possibly have than that happening for an entire country of 2 billion people or 1.9 billion people, whatever it is at this point, um, compared with little old us who has 380 million people. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Yes, I do think a lot of people do it. It's the world that we live in. Do I think Rock is a terrible person for doing this? No. Do I think that it's awful that too many people are tone deaf about income disparities in this country? Yes, of course.
But let's
Um,
be clear on something, because
okay.
maybe I didn't make this crystal earlier. I think advertising has, come to stay in society. I'm not looking to banish it, or actually, that would be a good hashtag: abolish advertising, abolish marketing.
Yeah.
You know the
Use
marketers.
using marketing. Okay, I hear it. Yeah, social media tags. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. No irony whatsoever. I gotcha.
All irony, baby. You get it. Once you say it out loud, it's delicious.
Hmm.
But it's the fact that it's not so much like like Supreme, which doesn't do much marketing, but the little bit they do, which is usually grassroots, is very like um you couldn't afford this even if you knew how to get it. Like usually marketing is like the allure of like, this is so high end. If your friends saw you, they'd kill you for these shoes. It's
Hmm.
usually something like that. What I'm specifically targeting is The Rock saying, when I had $7, he's duping poor people, which is 100% of America right now, 99% of America right now. Correct my numbers. And just like, I don't know if you heard the story about Robert Pattinson
Oh
from
yeah, tell me about that.
Twilight fame. Do you remember that movie? Oh, he was Batman too, the
He,
worst Batman of
that
them all.
No, don't say that. I thought he was pretty good as Batman. I mean, I liked that, but I liked it better. And I just talked about this in one of my shorts. Barry Keoghan played the Joker in that. He's an Irish actor, and he's phenomenal. And he's
Did you
in
watch the same movie I did?
Banshees of Inisherin. That's what I saw. He was in that. He was very good. Is that what you mean? Or you meant Batman?
The Batman.
The Batman. Yes, I did. He was really good in that. But anyway, moving on. Kristen, wait, and you said Kristen Stewart earlier, so that's. Oh, you didn't want to talk about that. Anyway,
Tie in. I don't want to talk about that.
Robert Pattinson, tell me about a couch, I believe.
Robert Pattinson, look at that handsome Batman, says he
Quite
once spent
debonair.
6 months sleeping on an inflatable boat on the floor because he had no other furniture. I love this. Feel good. I used to be poor too. So now, and this is how it always ends up. Now you got to expect what they're selling. Because it's no more like, I just want to be relatable. I get it. I've paid my dues. I'm here and I'm like out to support you. I'm going to support a union. Now it's like, I slept on an inflatable boat. And guess what? Because of that, I built a custom couch that is made to order. And that's not a fucking joke. Do you want to see what this couch looks like?
Yeah.
Are you ready to poop your pants? Because I'd imagine that's the kind of reception he wanted when he debuted this.
I bet I couldn't be giving less of a shit if I were constipated. What is that? It looks like a Jetsons cloud.
That is the couch he designed. How do you not recognize this? It's good for your
It looks
back.
like a old phone, like one of those old rich people phones that you would like hang up like.
I go ring, ring,
Yeah.
ring, ring.
Hello. Yes. No.
It's so funny because Architectural Digest does this whole like, Robert, how did you build this? And he's like, well, I used to sleep. I don't know if you know, I used to be poor like those people down there. And I would sleep on an inflatable boat and it hurt my bum bums. And now he's designed this. And they go into his, it's 9 feet long, 50 inches deep. I forget the other stat. I really wanted to pull that up because,
The price.
so no. They don't tell you. That's how fucking expensive this is. I'm not kidding. I've researched this for days and they say it's still not announced any kind of price, but it's custom made to order. So if you wanted one, you call Robert Pattinson on his bat phone on the Batarang and you go,
Oh God.
you know that telephone couch you made? Like when in the 90s when they had Garfield phones, he's bringing that
Yes.
back, except they're making couches that look like phones. This metal frame can put 350 pounds on each one of those floating arms. The receiver hang up.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what they're bragging about. I don't think what is the back doctor called? I kept saying orthopedic and it's not. The
Back
adjustment.
doctor.
Yeah. I need a
Oh,
backiotomy. Oh, you're not going to be able to think of it? I could have Googled it, but I was hoping you knew.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of orthopedic surgeons. All I can think of.
Yeah, but that's for your feet, orthopedics, Dr. Scholes, who,
Oh, well then I'm a moron. I have no idea.
that's why I said orthopedic. That's
I've had back surgery and I can't remember the freaking dude's title.
Oh man. Anyways, this is supposed to like cure your back ailments. And he's doing a custom order. So I'm guessing, and if you've ever looked at like what is the place? There's a couple of high-end furniture places, like Anthropology. I don't know how much furniture they do. Have you ever been to anthropology.com? They used to have like,
Sure, totally. I'm on it. I'm on it all the time.
listen, I got my wife something for her birthday from there because they had this fox face. The fox face was like 50 fucking dollars. But I was like, it's Anthropology. Like that's like status, you know? I spent like my whole paycheck to get her that, and she loves it because it's Anthropology. But it's like if you've ever seen the stuff on that website, their couches are like $30,000. You know what I mean? Like you'd be like, ooh, is that the right price? Like
I thought Anthropology was closed. Honestly, I don't
think
know what Anthropology is.
they have like home decor and everything, but
Okay.
either way, if this is the high end couch that can, I don't know, who's he having over? The Rock? What weighs 350 pounds that you need for a couch? Jesus. Robert Pattinson, what are you doing on couches? These things are probably perversely overpriced. And again, my point is, He's preying on people who sleep on inflatable boats.
I'm looking at a back doctor,
What's it called?
a physiatrist.
No.
That's what I'm seeing.
Jesus.
Musculoskeletal, muscle and bone non-surgical physiatrist.
No, you are so wrong, and I'm mad now. What?
Yeah, you're mad.
Back.
Orthopedic
Doctor.
surgeon. I was right, you turd.
Oh,
Spine
really?
doctor's called an orthopedic surgeon. You made me
Oh,
feel dumb. I'm
wait.
smart.
I made
I'm
myself feel dumb. What are
so
orthopedics
smart.
then? Chiropractor. That's the name. Jesus H.
Yeah,
Chiropractor.
chiropractor. I gotcha.
Okay.
But that's it.
Chiro.
But I mean, do you remember the old Family Guy episode? Anybody could be a chiropractor. It's
I
like
didn't see that one.
Angela Adams, and they give him the diploma. Barry Brown, and they give him the diploma. Like anybody,
And they
gives
just give them the.
diploma. Yeah, chiropractor. It's like it's not a real doctor. I would never say that to a chiropractor. I've seen many chiropractors, and they're all great.
I'd say it to you. Make sure
Yeah,
you
but don't
subscribe.
listen to Rob. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He didn't even know you were
But
called a chiropractor.
but do you notice how the lead into this is, again, just like The Rock? I had $7. This dude, the only furniture I had was an inflatable boat, and I'd imagine a lot of people are living like that right now. And this guy is trying to pitch his couch. I never once seen in any article I read about this that he designed it with a chiropractor. He just says like, I designed this, and you can tell because the thing looks stupid. Imagine walking into someone's room, someone's living room, and you're like, "Oh, cool couch," and you're like, "Yeah, I bought it off."
Jesus, what the? What is that mushroom? Why do you have a Oh, it's a couch. Jesus.
That would be a great couch to like trip out on, because apparently, if you lost your mind and started jumping on it, it could take 350 pounds of pressure on those arms, and I think they slide out.
Let me ask you, what is your problem with him doing that versus, let's say, Samuel L. Jackson having a Capital One card commercial that he says, "What's in your wallet?"
I have a problem with Samuel L. Jackson too.
What is your problem with
But
the most winningest actor of all time making a Capital One card commercial?
Listen, there's you. I know I started this off by saying everything's black and white. You're either part of the
You
problem.
sure did, buddy. You painted yourself into the proverbial corner.
But this is one of those things, like really what you said is, I think, the issue. They caught him off the height of Marvel fame where he's Nick Fury.
That is not when he started it. Is it that old?
He's been doing it for a while.
But when did he become Nick Fury? Like, I feel like he's done Capital One since like 2000. Am I wrong?
I didn't think he was doing it for that long.
I think he's been a global ambassador for Capital One for quite some time. But go ahead. You were saying, even if it was after Pulp Fiction, he's still huge. He's
they
an
would have never
celebrity.
taken him after Pulp Fiction. Are you kidding? He does that movie. Capital One ain't knocking. No way.
Dude, you forget he has done The Hateful Eight. He's done Django Unchained. I mean, he's done everything with Quentin since then. He did Jackie Brown after that. So, like,
that's why I'm saying I think it was the Marvel thing that kind of slipped him into everybody's drink. Everybody got a little Samuel L. Jackson slipped into their drink, and now everybody's got him in their wallet. I hate that about it.
You think Nick Fury is what brought him into the mainstream, really? Or it took him down?
Hold on. Nick Fury and the Avengers brought nerds into the main. I mean, if you can bring the sideshows,
tread lightly. Because I'm a Star Wars nerd, and I don't want to hear how Marvel has some sort of higher echelon of nerd category.
Yo,
go ahead.
Listen, this stuff used to be relegated to mom's basements and Dungeons and Dragons dorms and garages. And what this Marvel franchise did, okay, was burst burst through the ceiling of mom's basement. It just exploded into the mainstream and took over everything.
I
So,
think that's true. I'll give you that.
I mean, it suckered me in, right? I've watched all these things. Speaking of, next time you watch, real quick, side note, we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna put a pin in the conversation. Next time you watch Avengers Endgame, you've seen that one out of all
Mm-hmm.
400, right?
Yes, yes.
Endgame, the very last one of this phase 12 or whatever. I love how they're like phases of series of, they break it down. It's like this insane Venn diagram of different movies overlapping. So the end of phase whatever is Marvel Endgame,
Okay,
Avengers Endgame, whatever it's
okay,
called.
okay.
And if you're watching, Captain America, Scarlett Johansson, and Paul Rudd go to recruit Tony Stark,
Oh,
Robert
right.
Downey Jr. They go to recruit him and bring him back to the team. And they're like, we need to do time travel, bro. Will you come back? And he's like, I got a kid and family now. I live in the woods. Piss off. And when they pull up to his house in the woods, they're driving this like very particular, it's like an Audi R5 or something, R7.
Okay.
Huge rims. It's an advertisement in the commercial
Yeah,
because they let the car drive all the way. It's like 30 seconds of the movie. They're like,
yeah.
okay, get it in a frame,
It's
get
like
the rims.
Mercedes in Jurassic Park, the last two Jurassic Park movies. If somebody comes into frame, they're driving a very specific Mercedes. But go ahead.
So then Tony Stark's like, nah, I can't do it. I got a family now. I'm moving forward. And they're like, okay, time travel. See you later, dude. And then in the next part of the movie,
No,
again,
not the next part of the movie. It's like 30 minutes later, right? Like
is it?
45 minutes later, something
It's a
like that, when he finally shows up because it's supposed to be a big moment. But
yeah.
anyway,
It's supposed to be
then
this huge moment that Tony's
reveal.
like figured out time travel just in fucking around like at night, like I love that. He's like, got it. Jeez, why didn't I do this earlier? Golly.
Exactly. Yep.
And again, the framing is so incredible because like they allow him. In fact, like he comes into frame driving the same car, and he like you hear the motor rev, the engine's revving. It's like this it's a fucking car commercial. And they
Right.
let him pull all the way up though. It's not like, you see the car and then he's there. It's like they let 30 seconds of him driving up. And when he gets out, I noticed like, yo, that's the same car. Did like Captain America and Paul Rudd leave the car there for him to take? Are they sharing one car in this post-apocalyptic world? But it's just the fucking marketing. They just wanted this one car in it. Like they couldn't even give people different. They couldn't give like Captain America and Paul Rudd like the SUV version because there's more people. They all drove the
I'm
stupid
unsticking the pin. Those are examples of when endorsements go right. So can we talk about when
that
endorsements
ruined
go
my
wrong?
movie. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So here are some memorable ones. Okay. When people think of like endorsements or like things that didn't age well and all of that, one of the first they always think of is Lance Armstrong. Why, Rob? Do you recall why?
Wait, what was he endorsing? Because I know Livestrong. When you say Lance
Everything.
Armstrong, all I
Everything.
think of is
Livestrong
Livestrong.
being the biggest thing. Yes.
But what was
Livestrong
that?
being the Livestrong was about not collecting money, getting donations for and awareness for cancer.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So
Because he
I
had
don't
one nut. He had one acorn, right?
that's a low blow. It's a low
Didn't
blow,
he?
Rob.
Didn't he like rob people of championships? I don't give a shit. Lance, suck
Yeah.
it. One acorn. Didn't he like blood dope or something?
Yes, exactly what he
And
did.
he
He
cheated, so like people that
and
worked their
he
whole life,
lied for years, and there were
and
investigations,
he
and he
dated
paid
Sheryl
people.
Crow.
What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with dating Sheryl Crow.
Well, she did a song with Kid Rock, so I think that speaks all you need to know about her.
You have a valid point. I agree. I forgot about that little nugget.
Thank you.
I've just always heard the song at karaoke, and I never really associated it, but you're right. That is a notch
But listen,
down in her belt. Anyway,
For the Utes, if you Utes don't know about that song, look it up. Picture today. I don't know if
yeah.
that's Picture or whatever. We couldn't
So
escape that. That
no, it
fucking
was
song
terrible.
went everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay, so
and
Lance
there are
Armstrong.
always wait. Last part about that little thing. There are always roller coasters. I feel it's like every 10 years where there's one song you hear nonstop, 40 times a day for 3 months, and then we kind of have some time where it's like just kind of bland, crappy music, and then we move on. But anyway, that happens all the time. O.J. Simpson. He was a spokesman for Hertz Rent-A-Car, and again, many, many other things. O.J. Simpson, for
Wait, what did he
you,
do?
he
Did he do
he
something wrong?
he beat up somebody for a trophy that they had of his, and he went to jail for it. And
Slick.
that's the worst thing he ever did. Period.
That's the only thing he's been convicted of.
That's the only thing you'll ever find out about him. Google him, kids. It's the only thing you'll ever know. He was in Naked Gun movies. He was a sponsor for or a spokesman for Hertz Rent-A-Car, and he went to jail for beating up somebody for taking his Heisman Trophy, and that's it.
And that's
Moving
it.
along.
Moving along.
The Flintstones.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
Barney. Fred and Barney. You can still find it on YouTube. An old black and white video of Fred Flintstone and Barney smoking, I think it was Winston-Salem's.
Yeah, it was
I'm almost positive.
that's when they were called Winston-Salem's. Because like my dad used to smoke Tarradins, and I think you can
Oh
find
my gosh.
I think you can find
Tarradins.
you can find commercials where like it's a doctor smoking them, and he's like, you know, a Tarradin every hour keeps your heart, you know. So I forget what the ad is,
And the
but
menthol is actually good for when you're feeling sick. This will clear you right up, kids.
it's a cool asbestos taste.
Yeah. And they were all non-filter back then. A lot of people forget that. There was like zero filters around in the 50s. Like, I think maybe in the 60s it became more popular. I'm not saying no cigarettes, but
Yeah.
like Marlboros, Camels, they were all filterless. Lucky Strike, like many people know Lucky Strikes now.
I smoked them.
So did I.
Yeah. And you know what happened? Woke culture came and put filters on your cigarettes. It's the woke mob.
It is just like M&M's. I don't even want to talk about it. So then, did you know that Chris Brown, and you actually informed me of something else, but did you know Chris Brown had a Got Milk commercial? This is so
Got
old.
Milk?
Everything we're saying makes me feel so old. When was the last time anybody had a Got Milk commercial?
Yo, I think they had to stop doing that because everybody was pooping their pants because they were lactose intolerant.
I forgot. Yeah. And everybody. Anyway, yeah, he did Got Milk. And then he beat the ever living crap out of his girlfriend,
Rihanna.
But then you told me he had another commercial he did.
Oh, that's it. Wrigley's Double Mint Gum. That's it. Because I really like these commercials. So when that came out, I was like, ooh, you got to stop singing that jingle. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, can't do that.
I forgot. I can't.
You're bad at this.
Yeah. I wanted to play it. Oh, because the song. Listen, do yourself a favor. Look up official Wrigley's. It's so crazy. It's still on YouTube. Wrigley's Double Mint Gum commercial featuring Chris Brown. He sings. I think it's one of his songs, and he like somehow puts Double Mint Gum into it, and he's dancing, and you're just like, wow, I see what Rihanna saw.
Yeah, he's a talented young man.
No,
something I found really interesting, Rob. Do you know how many controversies Pepsi has had with its celebrity ambassadors?
Didn't they kill Michael Jackson?
I don't think they did. That's not funny, Rob. He was the king of pop and not Pepsi. Anyway.
10, 40. 1? I'm bad at numbers.
It's more. You're a bad barterer. You do not know how to barter. So I found 6 big ones. So Kanye was a sponsor for Pepsi.
Really?
Spokesperson for Pepsi. And then he went on that on that whole thing with Michael Myers from SNL, and in the middle of his fundraising campaign said, George Bush does not care about black people. And everyone's like, what
During
is
the
happening?
Katrina, during the
Right.
Hurricane Katrina fundraiser, and Mike
So they
Myers was a
dropped him.
fucking pro. That dude,
Just
watch
kept
that
going.
back.
Yep. Oh, I've seen it a million times. Yeah. So they dropped him. Madonna was doing a commercial, and she did it to um, a likeness to her Like a Prayer. And then the video came out, and especially on the far right Christian, snap, people were like, "No, you need to boycott Pepsi for this happening." So that wasn't good.
Yeah, because Jesus' official drink was Pepsi. Get the fuck out of here. I love these
Right.
people. They're like, boycott Pepsi. I'm like, are you supposed to be like drinking wine in his blood? And it's like, shut your mouth.
Well, the same group of people wanted to boycott Pepsi because Ludacris played at the White House for Obama. So
I remember that. Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly got on and was like, and he even talked to Jon Stewart about it at the time, which was amazing. Look up the Bill O'Reilly, Jon Stewart interview. Well, they have a few, but watch the one where John is on O'Reilly's show. But anyway, they had a problem with that, so they had to drop Ludacris. Or they didn't have to, they chose to. Michael
Welcome
Jackson.
to racism in America. Jesus.
Yeah, it was okay for other people to do it, but not Ludacris. I wonder what made it different. Anyway, Michael Jackson was doing Pepsi from, I think they said 84 to 93. And then I don't know if he had something that happened also around that time.
Keep
He
going
is
down the list. I'm listening. Hold on.
okay. Sammy Sosa. Sammy
Oh.
Sosa got busted for steroids, so he couldn't do things in Latin America for Pepsi anymore.
Hold on. I'm handing you the thing. You keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay. This is always so fun. I'm gonna stop doing it, and because I think he took out his earball, so he can't hear me anymore. This guy. What are you gonna do with him? This is ridiculous. Anybody have any questions while we're taking this moment? David Bowie was accused of sexual harassment almost immediately after he became a Pepsi ambassador. And then, for again, older people won't know this nearly as much as younger people, let's say millennials and Gen Z. 2020, October of 2020, Kendall Jenner got with Pepsi to fix racism. There was a lot going on with Black Lives Matter in the summer of 2020, and George Floyd was around that time, and there was also a women's march. So, what Pepsi decided to do was combine the women's march and Black Lives Matter and throw some random Muslim people into the commercial. And Kendall Jenner hands a Pepsi to a police officer. And yeah, the world was a better place ever thereafter. So, all sarcasm aside, that didn't look too great for Pepsi. And they got quite the licking. Quite the licking indeed. After seemed a little tone deaf. And yeah. So also, Starbucks responded at the time and said that they wanted to be a part of it and that they wanted to back up Pepsi and turned out to just be a big marketing ploy for Starbucks. Didn't look too great for Starbucks at the time to be getting into the mix of the Black Lives Matter Women's March and a lot of the stuff that was going around the death of George Floyd. So I was just wrapping that part up there, Robbie.
Hold on, because that Starbucks thing, a lot of people.
You gotta put that up louder.
What?
Or better. Sweet Jesus.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
Is that better? Yeah. Okay. It's so weird how this tech works. Greater minds than I. Old Elon Musk. He probably invented Bluetooth. So that, let me start with this statement. If you support the women's movement, Black Lives Matter, what are the other big movements? Any kind of LGBTQ rights, um, any kind of social movement, right? They're all kind of, I don't want to say one and the same, but they're all locking hands in solidarity. Not one and the same as in like they're fighting for the same thing, but rights against an oppressor is the general theme of all these movements,
Civil rights is what you're saying.
essentially. But they
Yeah.
all are, all these, that's why you see such crossover with in solidarity with these other movements, you know, like it's not just women going out to these women's marches. It's men. It's black men. It's you know, people from the gay community. It's all these people. So they all have something in common, and they're more powerful when they stand together. So with that being said, Starbucks notoriously does not support workers' rights, trans rights. They have kicked black people out of their stores just for being black in their
Yep.
store. So this was
Sitting
really,
while black.
yeah, sitting while black, literally. And so this was just to buy them PR. And there's people that I work with that are like, we got these shirts. They got like all this like merch. It's like Black Lives Matter merch. And I know that's a thing and people capitalize off it. Listen, I got socks that say Black Lives Matter. But again, it's different trying to show your support and hopefully spending your money in a qualified. Remember, Noam Chomsky said, rational
If you
decisions,
say that again, if you say
rational
that again,
decisions, being informed with rational decisions. My
okay.
mentor and sensei, Noam Chomsky. We practice kung fu on the weekends.
Wait, are you cheating on George Soros? Praise
Oh,
be to George Soros.
Lord
Oh,
Soros,
hail.
Lord Soros. Um, but so this was just, and this is how Starbucks has essentially got into America's psyche as like the most progressive, most for the people, most supportive of the cause, whatever cause it is this week, just because they purchased it, you know, and they put the propaganda on their people. Most of their people bought it. There are some people that I work with that are people of color that are like, they don't give a shit, you know, like they work in the conditions that they're witnessing and experiencing racism, while the store is like, here, wear this cute little shirt so we look good. So it's, and this is, again, this is like the overarching theme of this. It's like preying on people. That's not much advertising. Well, I guess it's just karma advertising. They're advertising for their public image. But um to bring it to a different more contemporary, wait, did you mention Kendall Jenner?
I did.
Oh, we missed that.
You missed that. Nobody else here missed it. Am I right, people? Um,
Listen, hold on. More contemporary
ah, yes, I was
advertising.
gonna say the more contemporary stuff. So, we didn't talk about how some other things that um, social marketing execs have talked about strategies on dating celebrities before marrying them. Quote, start them with lower risk projects to make sure there's a fit for the long haul and less at stake should the celebrity fall out of favor. Okay, that's one thing they said. Then they said, hope like hell the celebrity avoids any scandals while they are the voice or face of your brand. This is a whole different part of business as far as strategies. They weigh the risks, and when they pick out somebody like Kanye, they said to themselves, this person is, we're not only going to pay them, anything that they could do can't be as bad as us not having their celebrity endorsement. So, for example, LeBron James had a deal with Samsung, and in his contract, literally the only thing he couldn't do was say anything bad about Samsung. And he tweeted, my phone erased and reset. And that was all it took for Samsung to say, oh, you're bad for us. We're done with you. How dare you? Because you made us look bad. That
You
was
know what's
minor.
crazy? But that's crazy because number one, right? That again, not I'm maybe bad at advertising, but that is such a genuine, honest thing that that company could have put a spin on it. And this is, this is where I say, where's the creativity in your marketing department? Where are your big bad brainstorms coming? Where is your mind storming? Because him keeping it that real and them just being able to kind of be like a PR person for him and putting a little spin on it and keeping him keeps it authentic with the audience. And it doesn't get any better than that. Oh yeah, your phone reset, and who cares? It's like one of our features. It's the
I
it's
think it's funny that
Control
you,
Alt
of all
Delete.
people, I think it's funny that of all people, you are saying that because you already hate the idea of the idea of the celebrity endorsement, like LeBron being in a commercial saying, "I don't go anywhere without my Samsung," and then he continues on. You'd be like, "Oh, I hate that guy," and then he says that, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I like that." And I
Well,
wish the company would just come out and say, "You know what? There
sometimes
was a
your phone
little.
deletes everything.
Sometimes your phone deletes everything. Things happen." That would be funny, but it would be antithetical to what you are saying, I think. But let me move on really quickly to 4 other things.
Oh,
Amy
let me move on to 12 more things and we'll come back.
Amy Schumer was a spokesperson for Tampax.
Of course she was. Put one in her mouth. Shut up.
We'll move past her.
No, no,
Snoop
no.
Dogg.
Come
Oh,
on.
okay. All right, well, I'll tell you. So she was she came out, I forget what magazine, I want to say it was Vogue or something. She came out as very body positive, talking about how she had always dealt with being heavier set and how it was really upsetting to her. And then she kind of reversed course and kind of shat on some people who were of a more fuller figure and saying, "Oh, I could never be that big," or "That's gross," or whatever she said. And Tampax dropped her after that, and many other things, including the many times aforementioned her stealing jokes from people and falling out of favor with the general populace.
See, I'm
Um,
for them ditching her for stealing jokes, but I mean, come on, you're tampon packs. Do you know what you do? Like, you got to be pretty low for Tampax, the tampon, to be like, we're cutting ties. We're cutting the string, baby.
why are you giving crap to Tampax?
I'm
Tampax is.
not. No, I'm
You said
saying,
you gotta be pretty low. What do you mean?
yeah, I'm talking about Amy Schumer. How low are you
Oh, okay,
on
okay,
the celebrity totem pole that
okay.
Tampax is like, we're pulling the string? Sorry, this one's done.
Wow, that was good. Pulling the string.
Before I
All
said
right.
cut the string, but I realized you don't want to do that. That's probably
No, that
health.
was good. That was good. Snoop Dogg and Corona. You told me that this week he said something about quitting smoking.
What was
Do
he doing
tell.
Corona?
He's been the sponsor or one of the spokesmen for Corona for years. You haven't seen him on the beach just chilling? Freaking braids. He's just in his linen pants going down to a seat with a Corona. Never
Really?
seen that?
No, that's wild because I know he'll put his name on anything these days. Jesus Christ,
You
that
said.
guy. Yeah. So last week on Twitter, it like stopped Twitter for a minute, and usually nowadays Twitter ain't that great, but this was one of those moments where you're like, "Yo, I'm glad I still exist on this diarrhea of a platform." He put out a little image of himself, and in it said, "I'm giving up the smoke," and everybody was like friends of mine were like, "Oh damn." This girl I work with, God bless her, she was like, "I tried quitting too," and I was like, "He, this is probably an advertisement." Like that's all I could think in the back of my head. I was like, this dude would sell anything. If you were like Snoop, sell hot dogs to a vegan, he would try. That guy will try to hawk anything that he can get money for. This is what he's come to.
So
And
you're anticipating that he's going to come out and be like, "Yo, you need the blue cigarette that has a little bit of weed in it, or a vape, or
no, I
something."
wish. That'd be cool.
Mm.
No, he announced yesterday. He was like, I wish I had the post because it was like, y'all think I'd ever quit smoking? I'm talking about,
That's
and it
what
was a
I
whole,
said.
it was a whole video. It's about a barbecue grill.
Oh my gosh. I should have known better. I
He's
told my kid
promoting,
there's no way he quit smoking weed. There's no way.
and the funniest thing was he was like, I'm sick of that smoky smell. The video was like, sick of the smoky smell. I'm sick of, the ashiness and all this stuff. And it sounds like he's describing like coming home, being smoked out. And it's all cuts of like barbecue, or you can't tell because
That's
it's close
funny.
up.
That's pretty creative.
And
That's
he's
the
hawking.
creativity you just said you wanted.
No, if it comes like that, that seems more of a curse
God.
than a blessing. At this point,
Whatever.
listen, no, because at this point, he's going to be the next slap chop guy. He's going to be George
Stop,
Foreman.
dude. No
No,
way. Stop. That's not
he's
cool.
he's going to be George Foreman hawking the Snoop Grill. Well, he already is. Oh my God, he already is. He's going to be. He is the next George Foreman. That's the road he's taken. He made these choices, not me. I've tried to guide against it. What's the next one you got?
Next one I got is, and I just thought this was interesting. Do you know how much Mint Mobile's value went up by when Ryan Reynolds decided he was going to be a part of the company? What percentage do you think is
100%.
50,000%?
50,000? That's not a real number.
50,000%. Then he sold it for, I forget how much that was.
One
How much
point.
was?
Well, hold on. Dude, not yet. Sorry. It's a surprise for you. I did it for you. It's your fault. Ryan Reynolds has some of the best cosmic karma there is. Okay. This guy poops gold. And he had his mom on these Mint Mobile commercials. He said
good for him.
the guy, I forget the dude's name, Carnesh or something. This dude, a genuine like non-actor, was on one of the Mint Mobile ads, and he talked about it in another ad. He does like this real meta thing where he's like, our most popular ad was me and this dude. So this guy is beloved, and he's lying to you the whole time. He is pretending like he's the Mint Mobile owner still. And he talks about like the big companies can't do this. And me, a little guy, me, Ryan, just a little tequila guy, me, Van Wilder. And really, he sold Mint Mobile to T-Mobile for $1.3 billion.
Just him or his partners?
Who's
Not
his
that it
partners,
really matters.
Mom?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Aviation Gin? I don't know. He's just,
Is
again, he's the white George Foreman. All these bitches be they're like all George Foreman's kids.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. But didn't he buy a soccer team with Ryan or no, Rob McElhenney?
McElhenney. Oh.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, dude. There's nothing that guy can do, or anybody from that's sunny in Philadelphia. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. There's nobody in that show that they can do that I'd be upset about.
Oh, so really? Did you see McElhenney's TV show about the Dungeons and Dragons video game or whatever?
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Go try to find that online.
Okay. So, I told you about that.
Just like that movie in The Crow, when they say you can't poop gold all the time. I think that's a loose
exactly
quote.
It.
Loose quote, Brandon Lee.
So LeBron had some Samsung, Amy Schumer had Tampax, Snoop Dogg had Corona, Ryan Reynolds did Mint Mobile and Aviation Gin. Is that what the other one was? You said tequila, but it was gin, right?
Yeah, it's his gin, Aviation Gin brand.
And then Nicole Kidman did something for some company at the end of the pandemic. I can't
remember
bitch.
But she got paid. Do you know how much she got paid for that AMC? Where she's in her Hermes dress, walking down the aisles, eating popcorn.
Didn't we do this? I feel like I'm having deja vu.
No,
didn't we do this already?
I have a new fact for you.
Okay.
Do you know how much she got paid? You think it was like, I remember you'd go, oh, if you had 10,000 in the bank, and they offered you $100. Wrong. Bad analogy.
Okay, what was it?
Apples to peanuts, bitch.
Okay.
Apples to acorns. Everything has to be acorn themed. God damn it. She got paid $25 million. That ad is
that's a lot.
That's a minute in a dress, walking around a theater, telling poor people. By the way, no.
She was probably there all day, hadn't eaten anything, catering wasn't
She ate
ready.
popcorn in the commercial. She was eating popcorn.
In the shoot, but if she's just eating one pop, she can't eat whole handfuls. She get full.
That's a
You don't know
Hollywood
how-
Thanksgiving.
You don't know how movie magic works.
I know
Rob.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike and
I know how movie
Mike and
Magic Mike works. Hold on, I want to tell you something. Do you know when that commercial came out?
2020.
No, September 2021. The
Oh.
pandemic wasn't over, but they wanted people to come back, get their poor asses in the seats.
Yeah.
This is why I have an issue. $25 million to tell people to come back and die. You know how many people were
What do you mean come back and die? They weren't saying come back and die. They were saying
they
come
have
back, be separated.
No, they didn't say that in the ad. She said, come and eat popcorn next to a guy who's going to be coughing. Don't worry if it's Corona. Just come. Listen, she did that in September 2021.
Okay.
44,000 people were dying a month that year on average. 10,000 a week. 10,000 people dying a week. And this bitch has the balls to be like, 25 million? I'll tell people whatever you want me to tell them. And that is the issue I have. Not only grossly overpaid, but...
Okay, so I don't want to get into this because it's a totally different thing, but like just on its face, and you already know you're going to be a contrarian, but I'm going to ask anyway. Were you one of the people who said in 2020, and I'm not going to tell you my answer yet, but I will tell you.
I'll guess.
In 2020, were you sending your kids back to school, or were you doing a hybrid, or were you homeschooling? What were you doing? If you don't mind me asking.
No, we were virtual.
Okay, so we were also virtual until 2021-ish. 2021? Yeah, 2021. Did a hybrid. That was earlier in the year, I believe. Yes. So
my kids stayed virtual for a long time. Listen, my wife's a nurse. She was a COVID nurse. So she came home.
Oh, right.
She would make me put her pajamas out in the mudroom. She would get changed out there, go up to the shower. She would leave her stuff in a trash bag, go up to the shower, and then sleep in a different room.
What? Oh, okay. So we're gonna.
Listen,
yes.
we gotta wrap. What? What did you say?
I'm gonna have to wrap it up. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make this one. I want to show you this one last thing, because this is the crux of what I get mad at.
Okay.
It's preying on the victims of our society, the weak and vulnerable. This is, if you know anything about me, I can't stand it. I think if we're going to be the #1 nation, not just in advertising, we got to do better, right? Most of us can agree on that. We don't know how. I know one way to start. I'm going to show you this ad. It was in the Super Bowl. The date for this ad was February 13th, 2022. Super Bowl ad. Super Bowl Sunday. This comes on your TV. You've probably seen this.
To be clear, we have never been accused of being flashy, sexy, or lit. Let me get that for you. You know what lit is? It's kind of like lit. You know what I'm saying? Show me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Probably not going to show you a bunch of perfect people doing perfect things. Probably. I mean, seriously, we named ourselves Booking.com, which is kind of lit.
What?
I'm not gonna listen.
That's what that was.
You got to the point where he says Booking.com. He goes Booking. Yeah. You didn't see that?
No, I saw it. I got it.
No. You didn't see it when it happened?
No.
Okay. They spent a lot of money. He got somewhere between 2 and 7 million for that ad. Okay.
That was so cringe.
That was a huge campaign. Right now, you'll know Melissa McCarthy does those ads where she's like,
I love her.
Oh, Jesus.
There's nothing I could do. I'm sorry.
So she took over
just
for
some people, but go ahead.
But he revitalized Booking.com. They're the #1 app for vacation rentals right now. They are the #1. I forget what their market share, but again, I have this all saved. I'm trying to expedite the story.
Okay.
February 11th, 2 days before that ad plays.
Okay.
Booking.com, that's lit, laid off 2,700 employees.
What were their employees? Just like computer people? Like
the people that make everything run on that app. An app just like Twitter had hundreds, thousands. I don't know how many, but you know, there are people behind the app. It's not just computer
Yeah.
algorithms. There's people. 27, and this was news. You can just Google this. This was not like hidden. Like when I worked at iHeart, it used to be called Clear Channel. They did a
Oh, right.
30% layoff of nationwide on, I forget, it was Obama's inauguration. So you can
Yep.
look it up, 2008, whatever. And
Yep.
I lost 2 people on my show. I was crying that day. I couldn't believe it. And they did it on a day where the story would just get buried. This was 2 days before. I mean, it was huge news on Friday. I'll never forget it because I was like, wow, that's a huge layoff for what you would think is a small company. Come to
Yeah.
find out, that Sunday night, you're watching Idris Elba pretend like that's what I hate about that commercial. He's like, you're not going to see perfect people doing flashy things. I'm just so cool, lit, dance. Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. This asshole got paid so much, help that company boom, generate money fist over dollars, hands over fists, money out the butt.
Nailed it.
Thank you. And instead of, you know, I don't know, speaking up, being like, I don't want to take this job, you're laying off a lot of people, maybe give.
Time.
No, don't do it.
Wait, no, I'm going to.
Okay.
So I can bet you that Booking.com, let's say, hired Idris Elba to cut this commercial, to shoot this commercial 7 months prior to that. Then they booked him to do it, and then let's say 3 weeks after they book him to do it, he does it. He's there for, let's say, 2 days, 3 days max. Then this thing goes to post-production for maybe 4 weeks. Let's just say 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever.
Give them 8 weeks. I don't care.
Then give them 8 weeks. Then they hold on to it for another couple of months, and then they put it out. The date is set by whoever does Clear Channel. Clear Channel sold the commercial rights for that advertising that he got already got paid for.
Well, they had to book it far out because it was during the Super Bowl. That's when that launched.
So, yeah. So you know that. So let's say it was $20 million or whatever it was that they just had to pay the NFL or whoever they had to pay, CBS, Fox, whoever it was doing it, to have the Super Bowl ad. By the time it ran, and you said 2 days before that, they laid off a bunch of people. I doubt he freaking knew that. But you said this asshole goes out there.
Wait a
and is
minute.
doing dancing and all of that.
Hold on. You doubt the guy. Listen, I don't think he curated his career being dumb. And that's what you're insinuating. That
No, I am not. That's a binary choice you just presented, and
you're a trinary choice right now.
I'm saying
You're
saying that
too
either
hard.
he knew or he's stupid, and I'm saying it's not like that. The guy's a busy guy, and I would say that for any super busy celebrity, especially at the time. I mean, he was getting offers from James Bond at the time.
Hold on, we're talking about the company he's doing a Super Bowl ad for.
I'm not saying it was small. I'm not saying it was small.
Saying is you don't. That's not like that. This is what I mean. There was no other news that Friday. You know what I mean? Like a Super Bowl ad.
You don't know what news he saw though, one way or the other.
Okay, then I'll even give you the benefit of the doubt. He doesn't see it until 3 months later. Guess how many statements he's released since 2022?
About what?
About a company that he took, I don't know how many salaries. Let's just say it was 10 people's salaries. A company that
what about it?
10 people's salaries that he didn't come out, turn around and go, listen, I didn't know that was going to happen. That's horrible. I detest, this company, because he did these ads continue. Remember, this was a campaign. It was not a one-off. He did this until they had Melissa McCarthy take over. So what I'm getting at is, okay, he didn't hear it that day, but you're not working for a company that all of a sudden lays off a majority of their workforce. And you're just like, well, I don't know what's going on. Me no know. Like, this dude fucking knew. He's working for Booking.com. They're like, hey, we gutted everything. We're paying you big bucks. Make it snappy. Do that fucking dance.
How about this? You don't know if he was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Hire somebody else. And they're like, Melissa McCarthy? And she was like, yes.
She was like, I'll sell out anybody. Kill all the jobs.
I don't know about all that.
Melissa's gonna get all them jobs taken. Listen,
Get ready to say goodbye, Robbie.
yeah, we got to, because on that note,
I know.
I don't know why Brendan hates everybody's jobs. he only wants Melissa McCarthy and Idris Elba to work.
No, I'm not saying that. I want Ryan Reynolds also to work. I want Rob McElhenney to work.
Mecca hi, Mecca honey ho.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce his last name. It's Irish. I didn't expect you to know.
Very few people understand the Irish trill.
Yeah, the Gaelic it's pronounced.
The Gaelic is really
it's
really difficult sometimes.
It's a different language.
Like Saoirse Ronan from Hannah and like another. I'm sure she was in other good movies, but that's the only.
Saoirse.
Like,
yeah.
Saoirse.
That's our cat's name.
Aw, spelled the same way.
Yeah. My daughter has been into Irish folklore since she was born. So
that's a good one.
So that's why it's like, as much of it is a joke, it's really not a joke. We have to know all the
anybody who wants to learn how to not know how to spell things, read Gaelic. Read any Gaelic name, like Patrick, not what you would think it would be. Patrick. It's more like Peric. Or Porrick. That's kind of how they spell Patrick, or pronounce. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Robbie, it was good seeing you. We will
good
talk
to see you. Hold on. Subscribe to
Yes.
Ample Thought. He's down there, or maybe over there at Ample Thought. Subscribe to my channel, please, at Boston Rob, wherever I am. I'm up here. I think I'm up there. At Boston Rob ROBB, and subscribe to another one, at ANOTHAON3. Don't roll your eyes at that. That's a great name. It's the only handle I could get. All right, we'll be back maybe later this week, maybe next week. I don't celebrate it, but happy Thanksgiving to those of you who do. Thank you, Brendan.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Good seeing you guys.